Okay, so here we are, finally, one-on-one again. Guys are Chungus, and you guys. And as you can, maybe some of you who know what this is, this is the Warhammer Space Marine 2 video. Ooh, I know, big and anticipated. A lot of stuff did not go correct for me the first time through. This is the second time I'm recording this. A little salty about that. So, we're here to talk about it today. It's just what it is. Not doing a script. Trying out a little differently than before. Trying to figure out what my style is. And this is the campaign, the story so far. You play as Titus. Titus is actually the previous protagonist of the first Space Marine game. And I can kind of go in a little depth in that. Basically, shit happened in the first one. He's accused of heresy. He's sent for repentance. He's back now. Back and better than ever. So, the story for this, honestly, is amazing. As you can see, I'm playing on lower tiered graphics right now. Again, was having some issues with everything, so I had to, figure out a way for it to work. It still doesn't look bad. It still looks pretty good. But unironically, great game. I really enjoyed this thoroughly, especially with this being kind of one of my first dives into the Space Marine series. Or not even Space Marine, just Warhammer in general. Like, it's a whole new lore, everything. Like, it's refreshing to have something to learn again like this, in terms of like a story lore bit for games. Because this wasn't my first Warhammer game. First one was Dark Tide, but that's another video. That's a whole other video that you can go and watch. It'll be uploaded, don't worry. That one's also had some issues, but we're getting it, right? I guess I should start out by explaining kind of the role that Titus plays. Space Marines are these genetically modified super soldiers. And they're super soldiers with some really fantastic armor. Wow, I don't know why I just blinked there. Sorry. Titus is a captain, or was a captain. Oh my god, I'll explain it as it is now. It could be a whole other video for the first Space Marine game, which I can go through and play as well. I didn't play it, but I do know a bit about it. Titus has served the Imperium of Man for more than 200 years. Those are Earth years, so our years. It's a long time. These Space Marines can live almost indefinitely. But the things he did in the first game, which basically saved every person around him, led to him being accused of heresy because he was exposed to the type of enemy which is chaos, which is corruption, for a very long period of time with no adverse effects. People are a little suspicious about that. So he gets sent to Death Watch, which is I think penal squad. It's actually both a penal squad and a high honor at the same time. But he served his penance there, came back to serve his original chapter, the Ultramarines, which I know I'm saying a lot of stuff, and some people just have no clue what that means at all, which can be explained further. But I like to allow people to be able to look things up on their own, or at least get into it, because I can sit here and explain it in layman's terms and get crucified by the people who are very knowledgeable about this, because that was incorrect. You shouldn't have fucking said that. So I'd rather not get it wrong at all. But I can tell you what I know from playing the game. The Tyranids are a species of alien. They feed off of biomass, which is anything organic, basically. They feed off of that and use it to create more of them, take over everything, consume it all, right? And they are very powerful. They adapt very quickly, and they are just very tough in general to fight. The Space Marines are again, to equate everything like, unfortunately, I say unfortunately, not unless it's a bad thing, but just it's very similar to Halo, with Spartans being super soldiers genetically modified to help fight against threats to humanity. But the game itself, we'll just talk about the game. I don't want, you know what, I don't want to get moored up on the lore, because I'm here to talk about the game in and of itself. The lore is deep and amazing, unironically. It spans further than the games. Obviously, there's books, there's videos and things on you can watch, there's movies. I mean, I say movies, but there's a string of videos put together to form a feature film length type of thing. But no, the game itself, gameplay-wise, very fun, unironically. Even if you're not like interested in the whole sci-fi thing, I get that, then don't play it, because it's sci-fi. This is dark fantasy sci-fi, which is weird to say, but you know, there's magic, essentially, psychic powers type stuff. It is you know, at the end of the day, it's magic. It's magic. There's rituals and stuff like that. But from a gameplay perspective, it is a horde shooter through and through. You know, it's not like every other horde shooter out there. It's like Left 4 Dead is different, right? Because a lot of the enemies don't fight back. You have the specials that do. I say fight back in the sense of like having ranged or like special abilities. There's cannon fodder in this game. Like you see the little ones that like are just easy to kill in one hit, and you know, very easy to finish off. They still can have guns, their own weaponry, and attack you. Even from a range distance, so you still got to be careful of them. You know, they can peck at you, annoy you. And you got the bigger ones that are very annoying to deal with. Those are the ones that are like the special infected, you know, more of the, I guess if you could equate it to like sergeants, just to give them rank, because you're the foot soldiers and sergeants, the upper echelon of the Terminate Hive. And they can progressively get harder to fight, because the swarms are just huge. Right, you'll have little pockets here or there in the mission, but then there's these moments in the game throughout the story where you just, man, it's rough, because you just absolutely get surrounded. And I was playing on a normal difficulty. I'm, you know, first time into a game like this, like Space Marine. I'm gonna take it a little easy. I don't know what to expect 100%. This is not my first time playing, by the way. The footage you're seeing is I've played before. I've beaten this campaign already, like a while ago. But it's just nice to go back and refresh on everything, make sure I'm actually speaking from a renewed experience, just to make sure, you know, even I know what I remember what I know. I know what I know, right? I know what I know from before when the game first came out, and any changes that have been made to help with optimization or anything like that, see where it's at. And unironically, this game runs really good now. At first, the launch is a little rough for me, at least. Not that I have crappy hardware. It's not top of the line either, but it, you know, it's 3060 should do me just fine, right? I was struggling just a little bit. In certain settings, just wouldn't allow me to play the game as it's intended to be played. I had an issue where I wasn't able to see character models all too well, whether it be enemies or players or myself. It was very difficult. When you can't see the enemies, hey, this game's really difficult. But that's since been resolved, and I even figured out a workaround before that anyway, before they came out with an actual official fix. But even with that, this didn't really hinder my experience enough to make me stop wanting to play. It just, I got a taste, and I was like, I need to play this. I need to figure out how to fix this to play this. So, if you played a horde shooter before, strategy is recommended. Like, you can absolutely just bulldoze through, you know, head meet brick wall type situation. You fail a little bit, but then you can get through it eventually. This game does not allow for that. There's not a moment where you can just head through brick wall this game. Unironically, there's a couple of fights that they're bosses, because they have a health bar and they appear, you know, they absolutely require you to actually just kind of either dunk on the enemy or at least be somewhat strategic in taking them out. Unless you're playing on easy mode, I'll say that. If you're playing on the easiest difficulty, I mean, certain guns will just absolutely melt everything and it just won't matter. So I guess that is your head meet brick wall moment, right? You'll get through it. But otherwise, there's a little bit of thought process that goes into taking out enemies. I say somewhat, because it's not like, oh, you have to have a fucking master's degree in strategy to fucking play this game, right? No, I'm saying that you can't just no brain off this game all the time. There are certain moments you absolutely can, especially when we get into the operations, the multiplayer, the co-op multiplayer of this game. But we're not there yet. We are still talking about the story. So the story leads with the story leads with you playing as Titus, coming out of this penance, and you try to redeem yourself. I mean, you're already redeemed in the eyes of others, but you still don't feel as if you belong, right? He still hates himself, essentially. But as you go through, you take command of a squad of Ultramarines, Space Marines, and your job is to defeat the Terminid Horde, Terminid Hive. Gotta get rid of them. Do whatever you can. That's the gist of the story, to a certain degree. Once you get further along, you start to see remnants, and even in the first mission, I think, actually, you see these symbols, which are chaos symbols, which are heretics, Space Marines, and Marines in general that turn to the forces of chaos. Chaos are the bad guys, by the way. Well, it's Warhammer 4, it's 40k. Technically, everybody's a bad guy. There are no good guys. It's just some factions are just slightly worse, or slightly better than others. So you gotta just, take your pick of that. The people will probably crucify me for saying that, but from an objective standpoint, the shit that people do in this universe is not great, right? By our standards. It's just this way of life for them, but for us, it's dark. Grimdark. The whole Grimdark type of series, that's literally been coined by Warhammer. I mean, what can you do about it? But from the perspective in the game, you are playing as the Imperial Man, as a Space Marine. You are a good guy. Chaos are the bad guys, and you start to see symbols, and it's like, I've seen these symbols before. That's chaos. And people start to question you, what do you mean that's chaos? And then you don't really see much more until you get later into the game, where you start to see these Chaos Marines come in. And I think they're called Thousand Suns or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head now, and I kind of feel a little embarrassed. But it's a faction of Chaos Marines, Space Marines, and Marines that worship a certain god. Zeech? I think the god's name is Zeech. There's 4 different Chaos gods. There's Khorne, there's Zeech, Slaanesh, and Nurgle. Each kind of like Khorne is war, like straight war, blood for the blood god, skull for the skull throne, raw type shit. And then Zeech is the god of change, kind of, I think, go through changes, things of that nature. Probability, I guess, maybe. I'm not 100%. That's why I'm trying off the top of my head. I could look it up. I know I could, but I'm trying to give you the information as I have it in my head. So if you would like to learn more, you should go look more into it. Go look up other content creators. Go look into that. Support them as well, man. This is a great community. Sometimes some people can be a bit much about it, but people have their opinions on everything, and whether or not they're very strong opinions, depends on fandom. Some are better, some are not. But regardless, Zeech, god change. I said Slaanesh, right? Yeah, Slaanesh is the god of want, essentially the god of lust, the god of, things of that nature. Just very, very much a glutton in the sense of everything. It's envy. It's like the 7 deadly sins. That's basically what they're the god of. And then Nurgle is the god of... God, I don't even know what the term would be for him. Pestilence? God of pestilence, god of disease. Nurgle is... Yeah, he's... death, decay, that type of stuff. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, those are the 4 Chaos Gods. I think there's technically more. Not 100% sure. But anyway, as it pertains to the game and the story, You deal with the Thousand Suns, which follow the god Zeech, Chaos God Zeech, and after dealing with Terminids, you start dealing with the Chaos forces, but then you still have to finish off the Terminids, right? They're still a threat. Like, they didn't just go away, right? Eventually you solve that problem and start focusing on Chaos, because that's like so many issues, right? Because usually when Terminids show up to a planet, the planet's going to get lost. It's going to get taken over, and there's no saving it. When Chaos shows up, it's typically the same thing. So not only do you have to fight against one force of destruction, you have to fight against two and hopefully come out on top. And, you know, it being the type of the game it is, I mean, you can be like, oh, well, of course you're going to win. You're playing as the good guys. That's not necessarily true, you know? You could still kind of win in a sense, but in this game, you absolutely, you do win. There's still some cleaning up to do afterwards, but you can still win. And not, you know, with this being said, that's heavy spoilers if you haven't played it yet. I should have specified that. There'll probably be a spoiler warning back further and earlier in the video, so you know that I'm talking about this stuff. But honestly, if you're worried about spoilers, you probably shouldn't have clicked on the video in the first place. That's just me, but you know what? Maybe autoplay hit and it's on, right? And you're like, oh shit, I didn't mean for this to come on. Well, fuck. That being said, sorry if you got spoiled a little bit, and if you aren't spoiled, then congratulations, good job, awesome. But long story short, you defeat the forces of Chaos, and you stop the bad shit from happening. You saved the day. Hooray! Huzzah! That's awesome. So that's the story in a nutshell. Very misshapen and deformed nutshell that I explained it as. I did not do a good job at explaining it. I'm going to tell you right now, you'll be better off playing the game or watching a playthrough of it to get a full understanding of the story. And even then, if you want a more full understanding of the story, there's like, you know, a couple decades worth of lore that's been written to fully understand everything. So that's been fun, by the way, trying to get through all that. It's a lot. It is a lot. But I do pride myself on trying to learn lore of the games that I do play, which, just a heads up, you know, I played Destiny a lot. I know the lore for that game like the back of my hand. Can't wait to make a video on that. But that's not this video. This is Space Marine. Gameplay. Gameplay for the campaign. You have a set class, and it's really based off of your tactical ability, which for Titus is this type of rage. It's fury he goes in. He goes just into a blind fury of melee and start attacking things. You get health regen back as you attack and kill things. You do more damage in the melee. Just that whole deal, and it goes away. His squad mates, God, the names are escaping me right now, but then they have a tactical ping, and then, yeah. I don't remember, because I played the campaign solo. You can play it co-op, and the people playing co-op play as the other characters. So they each get locked into those tactical abilities. However, you have the same armor, same health, and you can have access to the same weapons. You just pick them up in the mission in the field through these drop pods or just on the ground as you find them and whatnot. You have your stems, you know, heal yourself up, things like that. You have other ammo crates and things, grenades, you know. Your typical shooter, right? Your typical horde shooter. God, that's a lot of bodies. Jesus Christ, I honestly forgot about that. Yeah, it's brutal. It's grim. It's dark. Lots of death and destruction everywhere. It's the type of game I actually happen to enjoy. Enjoyed it quite a bit. But the gameplay, it's fairly unique, honestly. I don't necessarily remember a horde shooter, and there's games I've played that I just don't really remember. Killing Floor is another horde shooter. Technically, it's round-based zombies type dealio. And I say similar, I mean like being able to dodge abilities, that type of deal, right? I don't necessarily mean similar in the same sense of style. But to my knowledge, I haven't played a horde shooter like this besides Darktide. But even in Darktide, it's definitely not the same type of power fantasy. It is a huge, huge difference, and I'll get into that on that video. But the power fantasy for this game is just, you're an unstoppable fucking force. You are a force to be reckoned with. There are moments where genuinely, like, I was a little fearful, like, how am I going to get through this situation? By a heavy spoon. There's a certain mission where you have to fight a Carnifex, which is like a big elephant sized fucking, bigger than an elephant, like 2 elephant sized fucking Terminate. It's a boss. You gotta fight. Okay, cool. Difficult fight. Carnifexes are kind of difficult fight. Kill it. Cool. 3 more show up. 3 more show up in the span of like 4 seconds of each other. It's like, oh, there's another one. I can fight that. Oh shit, there's another one. And there's a 3rd one. But story-wise, side characters have been taking care of business, and boom, they die. The main brain, basically the big brain of the hive in that area, gets taken out. Which operations? Let me talk about that real quick, actually, because that goes into the gameplay. Operations is the pure co-op. It's also not the main story. It's the side story, because the side characters are the ones taking operations to continue on with certain missions that Titus and his squad went through, or just on other objectives during that mission that Titus is doing. So the one I'm talking about, you do an operation where you go to fight a Hive Lord. I think I want to call it a Hive Lord. I don't think that's the right name. Anyway, you go to take it out, and when you kill it, it releases this blast of energy throughout. At least it's shown as being energy throughout, and it just scrambles all of the Terminate in the area. The big ones die, and it's like, huzzah! It's like, oh, that's the reason why Titus was able to, okay, cool. It connects. The side story connects to the main story beautifully. Like, you always have an impact on the story at hand, no matter what you're playing, unless it's PvP. I don't know the story of PvP. I only played it a couple of times. It wasn't my cup of tea. It could be fun. I didn't play it with a bunch of friends. I played it mainly by myself, just to get things tried out. Haven't, organized a play session for that in a while. But no, the operations, honestly, are fantastic. The story's fantastic. The characters are, from a newbie's perspective of being introduced to this lore like this, this was a deep dive. Like, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I had no idea. As I was playing this game, I was sitting in VC, because again, I was having the issues of being able to connect people to play at first. So when I was playing it, I was sitting in VC though with some friends talking about it, and these are well-rounded knowledge bases for the lore for 40k. So I was asking them questions as I go along, and they would answer, and I'm like, okay. Just to get an understanding of what was actually happening, because I'm, again, genuinely interested. This is my cup of tea. I love sci-fi stuff. And this was just the dive in, right? Like, there's no pool floaties, there's no nothing. You don't understand it, you're not going to understand it. You'll understand some of it, but not all of it, right? It's like, who are these guys? I don't think you get told who the actual faction is for the Chaos Space Marines. You were just told they are chaos. Kill them. Destroy them. That is all you are told, I believe. So it's like, I don't know who these guys are. Who the fuck are these guys? The 1,000 Suns? You telling me these are your 1,000? What does that mean? Who are the 1,000 Suns? As I'm playing, and then I'm getting explained to all the 1,000 Suns, yada yada, and it's like, oh, okay, that's very fucking cool to see, actually. Because, I don't know, for me, my perspective is like, these guys, there's not a lot of, I guess there is a lot of media. It's just not media I've seen then, but from where I'm at in lore, it's just not far. It is not far at all. I'm still baby steps in. It is daunting, to say the least. God, I just lost my train of thought. Sorry, she said tougher than Grok's hide, and I was paying attention and lost my train of thought. Anyway, getting back to it. No, the gameplay, the story just melds so well together. It's a well-made game. besides some technical difficulties at launch, it still launched pretty well for most people, and most people would say it was a success. It was very fun. I think about it quite often. I'm like, I want to play this game, but nobody wants to play it. I don't want to play it by myself. I do want to play it with friends, though, because that's what makes co-op games like this just feel better when you can play with friends. And when you can play with friends, it's awesome. So you want to. Not to say that I didn't play it by myself still, because I did. And then I hopped into the online co-op and played it that way too, so I could always still play with people, not necessarily friends, but just people. And for the most part, like, everybody, I don't know, people just love getting immersed into games like this. And I'm one of those people. It is, without a doubt, like, straight up, I do it in Helldivers. I talked about doing it in Helldivers, and I do it for Cyberpunk. I do it for this, Space Marine, for Darktide. Get into the role a little bit, kind of like an actor would. Just, like, feel the game as you're supposed to, as was intended. So when I'm sitting here slaughtering hordes of enemies, killing the Xeno scum, or the chaos, I get into the world. It's just like, brother, we must kill these heretics. Just straight up. It's so good. And majority of the community do it as well. Like, I've yet to run into a random online playing this game that hasn't gone in and like, for the Emperor, like text in the chat, or at least voice chat or the text chat, something related to the, like, how people talk in lore or anything like that. It's so good. Which, the way people talk in this is a little weird. I'm not gonna lie, it threw me off for a little bit until I realized, oh, this is what High Gothic is. By the way, Low Gothic, High Gothic, those are the basic languages for the Imperium of a Man. This is what High Gothic is. The entire time you're listening, you hear Space Marines talk, that's High Gothic, I believe. Probably wrong in saying that. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments down below, because if I'm wrong, I would like to change. I want to learn. I want to make sure my facts are correct, and I know I'm going to look it up eventually. I'm going to get there at that point. I will figure it out. But it's also nice to interact with people about this. But, man, this is a very long-winded discussion? Talk? Not really a discussion. It's some discussing with myself. I don't know. Would you consider yourself two people? Who knows? Find out next time. I'm losing my mind right now. I'm not going to lie. This game's just good. I mean, graphically, it looks good. Other people's gameplay, you can probably look at higher graphic settings, look fantastic. It's a well-made game. It looks good. It runs well now, specifically, like, now. Before, for me, it didn't run too well. That's probably my own hardware, I'm gonna assume. But other people were having issues, so I'm gonna chop that up to a mulligan. We'll mulligan that one. Mulligan that one. It runs well. It plays well. It feels good. I haven't had a bad experience playing this game. It's nothing but fun. It's high octane. It's not like slow paced and methodical like a lot of games are nowadays. It is action. It keeps your attention the entire time, and it knows how to do that. Whether it be through dialogue, where it's like nothing's happening, you're transitioning through zones. The characters are talking. They communicate. They will say small lines to each other. The world is active, and you see the NPCs, like the Marines, the small guys just on the ground there. They'll talk, they'll interact. Like, there's a thing where apparently, oh my god, I didn't explain this, but it's such a, what's the word I am looking for? Theocized? No. Deitized? Oh man, I'm so sorry. Is it deitized? I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna just move past that then, and just, they are essentially called angels in lore. It's rare to see them, and if you do, things are bad. Like I stated, there are two, as people would say, planet-destroying events happening, where there's Chaos Invasion and there's Terminator Invasion. That's really bad. And you're cut off, by the way. In the system, you get cut off through communication, and then you have, like, no reinforcements. So the entire time, are being told by your captain, the new captain, and he's Captain Acheron, and Acheron, something. But the entire time you're being told, I can only spare 3 men for this. I can only spare 8 men. You know, you're getting told the numbers of like, we don't have enough people to spare for this. You gotta make do, and you gotta do it because you're a Space Marine, brother. You got this. And basically, you just get a pat on the back and 2 other dudes with you. Good luck. And because you are him, you are Titus. Titus is kind of special, from what I've been able to see. And I will say there's other stuff I've seen, like secret level series on Amazon, specifically the Warhammer, episode. Titus is a very special individual. He does not fear almost anything at all besides failure. And even then, I don't even think he fears that, because he knows he has to do it, so he does it. He is the unstoppable force, the immovable object. He is it all. He's the primary protagonist. He has special boy armor. He has the plot armor, as they say. As of right now, after the events of that episode, because apparently that is the furthest along in his story that we know, the episode from Amazon, Secret Level. We don't know if he's alive or not. We don't know of his status. It is up in the air, and I hope they keep him alive, because unironically, as I've been looking through lore, as I've been learning things, Titus has been my favorite character so far. Maybe I'm a little biased in that. Definitely biased in that. I played as him. Of course I'm biased in that. That's the character I played. I like that one. But no, I just like the vibe he gives off of just like, fuck, dealt with this before, dealing with it again, let's get it over with. Let's just get it done. And I'm gonna do it. And I'm not gonna be afraid to do it. He just does. He just acts. He's just very matter of fact. He is what people would love a leader to be. Head on his shoulders, dominant, just fucking knows what to do. And even if he doesn't know exactly what to do, he's gonna think of something to do. It's because he's not gonna stagnate. He does not stagnate. He's never stagnant. He's always moving towards something, whether it be literally or fucking physically. Whether it be physically or mentally. He's always on the move, and that's what I like about his character. He's very just one-dimensional. Like, there's not a lot of like heeing and hawing the entire time, like debating with his inner humanity. He is like straight up just awesome. I just love that about him. That is what I like. It's not to say the side characters aren't interesting or anything like that, because they're all interesting in their own right. But just, he's very purposefully one-dimensional, and at least I think so. That's what it seems like, and I enjoy it quite a lot actually. There are games out there that do nuance better than other games. This game's not trying to sell you on the nuance. It's trying to sell you into the immersion. It's trying to immerse you, and if you allow it to do so, you will enjoy it. I guarantee you that. It is, without a doubt, just straight gold the entire time. So, switching gears over towards the multiplayer more, because I kind of said everything that needs to be said about the single player specifically. The multiplayer is like the single player. It's very good. The characters are more than just, not more, but less than one-dimensional. They are side characters. Even side characters, I mean, like truly side characters. They do have their own personalities. They do. But I think that's more based off of the class you play, which that does technically mean you're a different character. You know, the whole thing. Like, there's a couple different classes you can play as. As you can see, I'm playing as I have a shield symbol. I'm the bulwark. That means I get into the thick of it, fucking trying to. At least that's how. You're gonna see how I play it. It's not well. I'm not good, mind you. I'm not actually good at games. I just. Ooh, excuse me. Ooh, I just burped on mic. Oh God, That was the Ruben they had. I am sorry. I'm going to try to move past that. I'm actually going to keep that in because that's kind of funny, but I'm also sorry. What was I saying? Yes, the Bulwark. I'm not good at games. I'm really not. I pretend to be good at games, but I'm really bad at them. I kind of just skate through games by the skin of my teeth. I'm not really good at all. Don't believe. If I ever say I'm good, don't believe it. I'm lying. I'm really bad. This is an excuse, by the way. This is a cope, so when I do fuck up and you see me fuck up, it's not that bad. It's not as embarrassing. But the Bulwark is sword and shield. When you sprint, you get this kind of defensive barrier as you sprint and get reduced damage from range attacks, which just block them outright. Unless it's a charged range attack, which is like the ones you gotta dodge. Those are the type of attack where you have to dodge versus trying to counter or parry any of them at all. But you'll see me, for most part, I will try to stay in the forefront because I will just start attacking, countering. I get healed essentially by countering. I get my armor back by countering and getting kills and things like that. So for me, easy to do. Bulwark is meant for that. They're the front line. They're a frontline fighter. They don't do a lot of damage. They don't do little damage, but they do an okay amount of damage, and they're very defensive based. That's just how I like to play. I like to play the tanks, like the paladin type feel, and that's what I felt. That's the aesthetic I was going for. It's like the paladin of a squad, just like reciting the righteous texts as we go and slaughter Xenos, you know? And again, it's the whole being immersed into the feeling of the game, right? And I can't say it enough. There are games, and these games are coming out recently, and every now and then, some of them, they're there. Games like this, Helldivers, 40K, or Dark Tide. They release, and they just leave a profound mark in gaming history. Now, to say that Space Marine 2 is going to go down in history as like, oh, this great, awesome, amazing game, no, it's not, unfortunately. I think it deserves to. I think it does some things that, I guess it's just maybe in this market that we live in, the industry that it is now, it's just, when we see games that are just a baseline good quality, they're overrated, I guess, in a way. I don't want to say it's overrated, because it deserves the responses that it's got, it deserves the reviews it's got, it deserves all the success. But I think it's just boosted a bit more to that effect because of the way games are nowadays. It's sad to see. It truly is. I think that if the gaming industry, the gaming market in general, was a bit healthier, a game like this would be a fun game. It would be a good game. It's still a good game. It's a great game. But I just don't think people would have been as up on their soapbox about it, unless they specifically enjoy the Warhammer lore and things like that, because it does a great job of introduced me into it in such a great way. I didn't know what was going on. Nothing was necessarily explained all that well in the game. Outside of the game, I was explained it, and everything started to mesh together to make some bit of sense. But yeah, this is a card effect, by the way. Oh man, I'm gonna have to fucking yeah, sorry, I'm distracted looking at the fight there. This is a normal difficulty. This is average difficulty. And the operations go up in difficulty. It's like low tier, mid tier, high tier, high tier. This is just mid tier. At that point, everything, things are a little more tanky. It's gonna take a bit more to try to get rid of things. But yeah, just really in the thick of it all. But there's other classes like assault, sniper, heavy gunner. There was one more, and I think I'm forgetting it. I can't remember it. I don't know why I can't remember it. Oops. Anyway, there are other classes you can play as, and they all do the same thing but differently, if that makes sense. They all kill. They're all decent. Different playstyles about doing it, but they all still can do the job. So don't feel as if you have to pick and choose, because you can level up anyone you want. If you're playing in a squad, though, remember there can only be one of a particular class, because that's a character. You can't be both the characters, so you have to do a different class. So that's why it's useful to go and level them all up. And the level up, the progression is quite nice. Honestly, it's grindy enough that I want to play. There's a reason as to why you want to play, but it's not too bad that it makes you feel like you have to stop. So it's, you know, it's good progression. And enough is there to keep you interested, but not. It doesn't take too long to get there that you lose interest, if that makes sense. So, you know, you play a couple of matches, you'll get some XP, you can get up to next tier. You know, it takes a bit more matches, but at least it's all fun. It's still enjoyable to play. You know, it's not the type of grind where it's like I'm going to rip my teeth out trying to get this type of shit, right? It's not like camo grinding in Call of Duty, right? And that's gotten easier, but that's besides the point. It's a fairly easy grind. Just some hours dedicated here or there every now and then, and you'll get to where you need to get at and progress how you want to progress. Now, for people new to the lore of Warhammer or the types of games like this in general, it could be a bit daunting at first. I can see it being a bit daunting, but it's really not that bad. And the game does a good job of holding your hand through the tutorials. That it's a game anybody can pick up and play. It's a game for all. It's a game for all. I think that's honestly. There's not a lot to just yap about. It's just a solid game. It doesn't break any standards in the gaming industry, right? Not any that I can see. That's like such a profound effect. I think what it is essentially, and I think I'll take back what I just said actually because that's incorrect. It leaves the profound, not sentiment. Oh my god, I'm not wording right now. It does such a good job at immersing the player into the lore of the Warhammer universe that the diehard fans of the 40k universe, you know, that whole fandom love it. Looks great. Like they see, looking at artwork from the tabletop game or any other type of media and comparing it to what's in the game, they did a really good job. The graphically, everything looks great. Texturally, everything looks great. Like, it just is solid. I think that's the standard there, honestly. Where if you say somebody made a Lord of the Rings game and it didn't really quite look like Lord of the Rings, they'd be a bit pissed off. I think if this game didn't look the way it does, people might be a little pissed off. So I think that's the profound effect, is that it's taking from written media and putting it more towards the gaming medium, which, you know how that works with movie games, movies made from games, like the Minecraft movie that's going to be coming out soon. It does not look great, I'm not going to lie to you. The designs of things just look, it just looks so weird and wrong. That's just my personal opinion, but that's my statement there, especially because I know other people think like that too. Like, ugh, does it look too correct? That's an issue with a lot of the movies made from games. That honestly, it's always a frustrating thing. And I'm not trying to talk too much on that. I'm trying to get to a point of when you take from a medium or a fandom their story and adapt it to another medium for people to consume, you have to do a good job at it. You have to be faithful to the source material. And when you're not, it is very apparent. But when you are, it is also very apparent. And in this, they were, to my eyes, from what I know, and from what the people who are more scholars of the lore for 40k have told me, is that it's fairly faithful. It's pretty damn good. They had other expectations of what they wanted to see, but they were happy nonetheless. An attempt like this is not a game that is attempted often, but I think the success of this will lead to another one, and I will gladly get that one and play it too, because if this is the standard that you have going forward, this is great. This will be a good series, honestly. Um, Let me get back to the multiplayer. I'm so sorry. There are 8 operation missions. Each one takes around 15, 30 minutes at most to complete, depending on the difficulty you're on. Could take longer or a shorter amount of time, depending on how good people are too. But once, like, they're just fun. They're little one-offs, it feels like, but you get to level up your online character, your co-op character, and progress through that class, and run the next one, take that one into PvP, do everything you want to do with that. I think the game's been out for 6 months, I want to say. 7 months? Oh man, this is the time where it pays to have my talking points up and actually out in front of me to see when the game was fucking released. I'm sorry for that. September of last year. September 9th of last year. So, I mean, it's been out for quite a bit. Right? Right? We don't agree. I mean, the day this will be coming out, it would be 2 days from it being, 6 months? From it coming out. So yeah, I'd be able. I was close. I was close enough. But it's been out for quite some time, and there's not a lot more to do. So if you've already gone through and started leveling things, or not even started, finished leveling things up, there's not much for you to do but just to play it with friends, just to enjoy it. And you can only do that so much with things, right? Before it just gets bland and you gotta move on, and that's its issue right now, is that there's not, once you're done with the grind, that's really it. And they've added 1 more or 2 new operations, which brings the total up to 8. It was 6 originally, I believe, but bringing it up to 8. Content's not coming out, and the roadmap for this, that should be coming out, there's more. They plan on releasing a lot. It's just taking some time, and I feel like it's okay that it's taking some time. It's okay for a game to have a drop off in its player count for some time, because if they're fans and they really enjoy it when you release that content, they will come back to play it, and that's okay. People nowadays just rag on games like, oh, dead game. People don't play it that often anymore. There's so many other games to play and occupy your time with, that when a company is working on content that you've already paid for, by the way, most people have already paid for the DLCs, because a lot of people bought the pre-order. I am people. So when that content comes out, you bet your sweet bippy I'm gonna go back and play it. I paid for it. I'm gonna. But even then, I've got to a point in the game where I'm okay with not playing it. I do want to play it every now and then, like in little itch forms. I'm like, that could be fun to play. That's a fun game to play. Might as well. Haven't played it in a while. But no, it's okay to walk away from a game, to give the devs time to make the content so you can play and come back to it. That's okay. A game, you don't have to play a game 24/7 all the time. That's not the point of it. Never was the point of it. Maybe for single player games, so you can keep playing the single player. That's not going to change anytime soon. But legitimately, I don't know where this mindset's come from recently, where it's like games have to constantly, quickly release content all the time. People don't just sit down and enjoy the game when they should, and then just move on until there's more content to play, and move on to another game. And I know that's easier said than done for some people, whether it be finances, resources, I will state resources, for acquiring games or just playing them, or maybe you can't play at that moment. Things might come up. I get it. Life happens. Life is life. But the people who can, and that sit there and play like one game all the time, it boggles my mind, because I enjoy so much that I move around. And it's not that I'm bored, necessarily. It's just that I don't want to get bored of it. It's the whole burnout thing, right? Too much of a good thing is not a great thing. And Space Marine is definitely one of those games where you genuinely play for a bit and then just probably step away and leave it alone for a month or two, 3 months, and go back to it then, and then check it out. It's like that. It's a live service game. It's going to take time to get to where they want it to get at in terms of content released. Do I think it's worth the price? Yes, actually. I genuinely do, especially if you're going to play with friends. It is way worth the price. It is fantastic. It's great, honestly. It's one of the purchases for a game I don't regret, a pre-order that I don't regret. And I took a chance on this because I had no idea what I was getting into. I've just seen some of the footage that the gameplay footage they released, some of the story, teaser trailers. That's what I had to go. And took a chance. Worked out. Doesn't always work out. That's 70 cents. But yeah, Space Marine 2 is a decent game. It's fun. It's filled with content if you're a new player. To get into, get your teeth gnashed on a bit, level up some classes, get through the story, play it on higher difficulty. Play the PvP. But it's a solid game. There's not much wrong with it, at least from my perspective, because I don't have anything to base it off of. In terms of like the previous game, I didn't play the previous game. I know the previous game also had a story and a PvP, and I think a co-op too. So I don't, it. So hopefully it did well enough to the people who played the first one that it was a great successor. I know it's gorgeous. That's really all I have. I'm not gonna lie to you. So with that being said, this has been Kaiser Chungus. Ciao.